I'm Vicki McGee, founder of Hope of the Grand Valley. Over the last 15 years, we have had the pleasure and opportunity of giving hope to thousands of individuals. Our purpose is to support working families and their children and give them opportunities to grow, learn, and be successful. Here are some of their stories.
I became involved with Hope with the Grand Valley back a couple of years ago. I was just starting out at the beginning of my divorce, and a fellow hockey mom friend had recommended Hope for me, not only for assistance with Christmas, but also to have a community and support system while I was going through one of the roughest struggles of my life.
My case manager through Family First of Hilltop told me about Hope of the Grand Valley and said that it was a resource for people who didn't qualify for SNAP, and that was me. I was just barely over what someone had to make in order to be a SNAP recipient, and so it was such a blessing.
When I first heard of Vicki and Hope of the Grand Valley, I was a single mom, and I came in from a fellow Hope of the Grand Valley family. They knew I was struggling trying to figure out Christmas for my children, and they told me I should reach out to Vicki and just sit down and have a conversation.
Went to Hope of the Grand Valley in, I believe it was like 2014, 2015. We stayed with them for a little while, and then we had some things come up, so we kind of distanced ourselves a little bit. 2016 we came back, and I've been a part of Hope of the Grand Valley since then. We met Vicki, and she's a wonderful lady, and she's helped us out quite a bit through Christmas, through the holidays, and just being a great family.
I first came across Hope of the Grand Valley in 2014. During that time, I had been in an unhealthy relationship, and in 14 years, I had left 12 times. I kept going back because I was not able to financially take care of my children on my own. I made too much money for assistance, but not enough to support myself and my kids the way I needed to. So I'd reached out to several different organizations in the community for assistance and kept getting told, no, you just make too much money. And I visited my grandma one day and was talking to her about my situation, and she had asked me if I had heard of a program called Hope of the Grand Valley, and I hadn't. I thought I'd heard of them all. So I went online and found Hope of the Grand Valley, gave them a call, met with them, filled out an application. And during that interview process, we talked about my goals and what I needed to be able to be successful on my own. And a lot of that was budgeting. How can I do this by myself? So with Hope's help, I went through some budget classes, went through some counseling for me and for my children. And after a few months, I was confident enough to be able to try once again to do this on my own.
It was about 5 years ago, and my husband was working at the sheriff's office, and his crew adopted families, and that's how I was introduced to Hope of the Grand Valley. I began volunteering at Christmas with the Christmas party and wrapping presents and organizing the gifts and that type of thing. And it evolved into Vicki asking me to be on the board and taking a broader role. It was important to me to become part of Hope of the Grand Valley because of their mission. They work with families that are living paycheck to paycheck, don't have any assistance, so they really are giving them a hand up, not a hand out. And it's important for the families to take the budgeting classes and continue to grow and learn how to make their money work better for them.
So after Christmas, it was made clear that if we wanted to stay connected with Hope of the Grand Valley, that we need to take a budgeting class. And since I was new to being a single mom and trying to figure out how to make all my finances work, I was struggling to have ends meet, so I took advantage of going to the budgeting class, and that really helped me realize really what it came down to is I needed to be making more money. And so eventually I went and found a better job. But not only the budgeting classes, I would go to the monthly groups, and it was just really helpful to talk to other people in similar situations, and my son would get to hang out with other kids, and we'd encourage each other and where we were at in our journeys in life. And I still stay in touch with some of the other families to this day.
Some of the things that Hope has been able to help me accomplish, not only in just restoring faith in my own capabilities and having that support system back me up, but also provided a lot of tools and already tried and true tactics to get my life organized and learn the best ways that I can stand back up after a pretty heavy blow.
After a couple months of some budget classes, I was able to get my own place. I've been in my own place for 9 years now. My kids have grown and since moved on with their life. And I enjoyed the program so much that I continued to volunteer. Even when I was no longer eligible for assistance with Hope of the Grand Valley, I still continued to volunteer my time. I showed up at the classes that they had, the Christmas program that they offered. Anywhere that I could volunteer, I was there.
I received Christmas for my kids, and then I didn't really take it seriously. I kind of just went about my everyday life and got back to being a single mom of multiple children. And I actually got a phone call from Vicki, and she kind of just asked me, "What can I pray for you for?" And from there, I just knew that this was an organization that actually cared about people and not just seasons of their lives.
We do a monthly budget class, and we have a binder that Vicki and a few other people had made for us, and it really helps our budget. We've been able to save quite a bit of money and get back on track with our bills and finances, so that's been a huge, huge help. And of course, you know, they're there for us through Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of that stuff. So.
We were noticing a trend with our families that some of the budgeting classes that we were currently having weren't meeting their needs. So Vicki asked me to put together a budgeting class, and so at the beginning of 2023, I started working with the families and teaching a monthly budgeting class.
Hope hosts a financial class, so once a month, that's voluntary, and you can join it, and there's a professional finance advisor there that helps you kind of strategize and gives you the tools to help you get your finances in order, whether that's paying down debt or if that is getting an emergency fund, or going beyond helping with maybe a behind payment. That's not what it's for. It's there to become self-reliant and learn how to stand on your own 2 feet so that you can in turn not only make your life better, but help those around you too.
Many people are afraid to ask for help, or they feel like they aren't deserving of the help. That is what Hope of the Grand Valley is for. We are for those families. We are for the families that are living paycheck to paycheck and don't know how they're gonna pay the electric bill this month. We're not gonna pay their electric bill, but we're gonna help them understand how to make their money work for them.
One of the things I struggled with when I was going through this trial in my life was I was afraid to ask for help. I was embarrassed to ask for help. And if I could say one thing to myself back then, that would be, don't be afraid. Take the time to reach out and see what we can do for you. See what Hope of the Grand Valley can do for you. We're not judging you. We're not judging your situation. We will never make you feel like what you're doing is not going to be good enough. There are so many different things that Hope of the Grand Valley can do. Even if we're not able to provide you assistance, we are in contact with so many other organizations in the Valley that if we can't do it, we will get you with somebody who can help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be embarrassed. Take that step and see what we can do for you and for your family.
It was rough, and it's hard to reach out and ask for help. Pride gets in the way, but whenever you talk to Vicki, she says it's a hand up, not a handout. So she's a great lady. She made you feel real at home.
Our purpose is to support working parents and their children with opportunities to grow, learn, and be successful, all while building lifelong relationships with other Hope of the Grand Valley families. Please join us.